Okay, let me tell you exactly why I just absolutely despise the woke left. I've told this story before, but we'll get into it again. We got this clip from Turning Point USA. Breaking. TPUSA's Stephen Davis, that's Stephen D. 1776, confronts Antifa members attending a TPUSA Students Chapter event at the University of Oregon. You got some Antifa guys sitting in a room where a black man is speaking about his views and his ideas. They disrupt him. They interrupt him. And he's like, aren't you supposed to uplift black voices? And they're like, no, because they're liars and they're hypocrites. And this is their MO. They hate you. They don't care about defending people who are marginalized voices. They care about defending people who will empower them. And they use race as a cudgel against people who despise racism. Simply put, you know what? Most people don't like racists. I do not like when somebody insults a friend of mine simply because of their race. I do not like when the government puts people in boxes based on, figuratively, based on their race. And this is what they do. They know we hate it. And so they exploit it and say, we're here to help marginalized people. But lo, when it's actually a black person speaking who has an idea, whose idea may or may not be good, their race is irrelevant. They now all of a sudden say, none of that matters. Our ideas are better than you. So let me show you the far left white male, yelling at a marginalized person in this video. Check this out. It's about a minute long, and then we'll talk about it. Is it playing? Or I didn't play. Wait. Oh, I always make the mistake with audio. Here we go.
Are we adults?
We just don't support this kind of topic. We don't want this on our college campuses. You are miseducating the people. But when you come in here, and you lie about the way that our society should be, when you come in here,
lie about the way our society should be. What does that mean? Like you have an opinion?
General is bad. It's what causes the things that you're complaining about. Your beliefs actively make the world unsafe for people who are just trying to live in it.
Let me just point out right now that these guys aren't actually arguing anything. They're like, the things you like are bad things that make the things bad. Well, how about you tell me exactly what policy that's been proposed is bad and explain why it would have a negative impact on the world. How about that?
It's not opinion-based. It is fact-based. You can do the research yourself.
Oh, okay. So you have no answers. Just you can do the research yourself. Look, I criticized Dennis Prager when he went on Bill Maher and said they're putting tampons in the men's room. And then they were like, who's saying that? He goes, Google it. Google it. It's like, I get it. He's right. You know, in that instance, I'm not trying to compare the two necessarily. I'm just trying to say, just be like Slate.com. I mean, they were one of many outlets that wrote about it. Why don't you go and read the New York Times? And the New York Times wrote about it. And this guy is saying, you can do the research yourself. I'm sure I could. But apparently you didn't because you don't even know what you're talking about. Anyway, let's continue.
Promise you that.
Aren't you supposed to uplift black voices?
Uh-oh.
Whoa. Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
What?
He has got no answer.
Now he's got nothing to say. No, you want to play the game. Let's play the game, baby.
That's right.
Let's play the game.
I'm not here to play the game. I'm here to disrupt here. You gotta understand that.
Are you not trying to shut down my voice?
Yes.
He says, yes, he's trying to shut down his voice.
Point of me being here.
Supposed to uplift black voices.
Suppression of your political opposition.
Are you supposed to uplift black voices? Let me hear it.
Not in every situation.
Not in every situation. You see, this is exactly what it's about. They claim that it's all about helping marginalized people and that they're trying to make the world a better place for everyone. And there's white supremacy everywhere. But it's so weird when the people claiming you're a white supremacist happen to be white males who show up to yell at a black dude. Now, let me tell you, I don't care if this guy's a white male. I care he's a hypocrite. I don't care what your race is. You could be Asian, Latino, you could be black, you could be white, you could be an alien for all I care. And if you're going to come and say, here's why your idea is bad, okay, let's have it out. But this is what these people do because they're racists. They will tell you to your face that in their world, marginalized voices are lifted up. They'll hold signs. They will do this. When I worked for Fusion, the editor-in-chief changed his Twitter banner to a black fist being raised that said, down with whiteness. And it was a white guy because they're liars. That's the whole MO of the woke left. So shout out to Turning Point USA for simply having the event. But I do want to just make one point as an aside too. Like, I couldn't help but notice there's a poster behind this guy with a picture of Ronald Reagan that says legend. Yeah, it's certainly not my opinion. Let me talk about my opinion on this one. Ronald Reagan, no fault divorce, gun control. Sorry, not interested. I wasn't alive. I think I was alive I was born during Reagan, but I was like a baby. So I don't know much about it. Maybe it was good. I don't know. Bill Clinton apparently was good for the economy and stuff like that. But I'm not about to agree with all that stuff. But I'll tell you this: what I see here is quite literally an inversion of what they claim to be. Stephen Davis is a guy who has thoughts and opinions. He's going to express them. I don't care if he's black or white. He happens to be a black man. Great. Well, Stephen, if you've got bad ideas, I'm going to argue your ideas and call them bad. And if you got good ideas, I'm going to say, actually, that's a pretty good point. Your race doesn't matter if your ideas are, it doesn't have anything to do with your ideas. These people are the inversion of that. They're the people that will come out and say that whiteness, that's colonial thinking. It's European thinking. Actually, have you guys watched Yellowstone? I'm watching it. I'm on season 2, guys. No spoilers. But I'll tell you, there's a scene where, because there's a Native American reservation, she talks about power and the white European way of thinking. And this is the kind of stuff that makes me want to just punch the TV. Like, not really. It's a joke. But she mentions that, she goes, do you know what power is to the student? Power is the ability to influence or direct the courses of actions which could impose blah, blah. I don't know, some other stupid definition. And then the guy's like, oh, I didn't mean to say anything. And it's like a white guy yelling at a Native American teacher. And then she's like, it's mostly a white European view that you come to this country and blah, 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 blah. I just can't stand it, man. Because I'm just sick and tired of my people being ignored in this. Like, yo, I'm part Japanese. I'm pretty sure not by choice from my family's historical lineage. But the point is, how is it that these people live in this world where they claim to not be racists, but they think only white people are capable of conquest? It's as if the Turks don't exist. It's as if the Armenians don't exist. It's as if China, India, Pakistan, Iraq, Iran, all of these countries, the Persian Empire, it's like none of them existed. It's like Shaka Zulu didn't exist. People are people. They do the same things. Some are good, some are bad. Genghis Khan? Yo, quite possibly the most notorious colonizer and warlord was an Asian dude. Man, this is what really grinds my gears. You see, it's really about them disrespecting my people. You know what I mean? My Asian heritage. I'm mostly white, by the way, but, I'm making a joke. That they'll come out and make arguments about white people. They'll come out and shout down a black man while claiming they're uplifting black voices. They will claim that it's only white Europeans who do these things, that white Europeans invented everything, that white European culture is bad, while completely ignoring the inventions, the cultural developments of all these other places in the world. We use Arabic numerals in our math. That's not white European. We had Roman numerals. The Roman Empire had their math system. Didn't seem to make it, did it? What about the expansion of China right now? I'm just... it's so annoying that it's been 10 years and these people are still here. But this is what a cult is, okay? It grows, it expands. People need to be broken free from it. They're not going to be, so long as they're going into spaces like this, claiming they support black voices and then yelling at black people. But personally, I think they should be allowed to come in and protest, but conversationally. If you don't want to be there and you don't like what they have to say, you shouldn't be there. This idea that they're going to come to your space, your private event, and shut you down, I think that crosses the line. Free speech exists to a certain degree in the size of a private space or if it's in a public space. This is a small room in a private meeting. They shouldn't be able to come in and disrupt it. They should be kicked out. If it was the only room on the entirety of campus, you can't kick them out. Sorry. If it was the only place to have debate and that's where you went, well, then kicking them out would basically shut down their free speech. And that's the Twitter argument. Twitter is the premier place with hundreds of millions of users, so banning people from it, they have nowhere else to go to communicate with these large groups of people. I don't have all the solutions, my friends. I can only say that this is a tale as old as time, and I'm hoping that the future gets rid of it. I was hopeful when I was a kid that we were moving past, as a society, racism and stuff, because every day I heard about how things would get better. The problem is this obsession with race turned into racist millennials and racist Gen Zers, and now they're 10 times worse than it was 10 years ago. The people in my community, the people that I grew up with, they didn't care for any of this stuff. But a lot of these kids were told racism was rampant and bad and systemic. And now they're looking for it anywhere they can go. And now, because there are non-white people who disagree with their psychotic cult, they are now effectively calling black people white supremacists. It's like Dave Chappelle come to life. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up in a few minutes. Stick around and I'll see you all shortly.